Welcome back to the preview show. I'm Casey Campbell from Great Lakes Post in WJR 760 in Detroit. Mitchell Brewer from News from the Pits to my left. On the bottom is Jonathan Fiel from the Racing Experts and KOB TV down in New Mexico. How's it going, man? How's it going, guys?
Going good. Warm and sunny and beautiful, and back here with the preview show, so that feels good.
Yeah.
Yeah, going good here too. Also warm and sunny, but probably not the same as Jonathan's.
Yeah, that's I don't know. All right. Well, we got a big week of racing going on. It's the regular season finale for the Cup Series at Daytona. The Xfinity Series will also be in action. Also, ARCA returns to the Milwaukee Mile for the first time since 2007. We got a lot to recap. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but let's your thoughts on the overall weekend for the trucks at Gateway and the Xfinity Cup race at Michigan.
Yeah, it was a good weekend of racing. I'm sorry there, Mitchell. You can go ahead there.
Oh, you go first.
Yeah, we're too nice. We're both from Minnesota. Overall, it was a great weekend of racing, especially at Michigan, where we saw compelling action between A.J. Allmendinger and Justin Allgaier and Josh Berry. Great performance by Josh Berry, too, just taking over for Michael Annett and really showing out again, like we've seen so many times with him. I thought the 550 package had a really good performance in the Cup Series. And then who else could beat Sheldon Creed? Nobody. Had a great performance, started the playoffs right. Good weekend of racing.
Yeah. Mitchell, what do you think?
Yeah, I kind of echo those sentiments as well. It's a shame that the Truck Series race had all of its technical difficulties during the actual event, because it wasn't a bad race by any means. It was an exciting one, and Sheldon obviously dominated, but there were some other nuggets in there, like Haley Deegan. She got her first top 10. There's a lot of action there going on at the end of the race. That was a fun one to watch. Michigan produced some really good racing, and I was a guy that was very critical of Michigan, but last weekend was a lot of fun, and both races were very fun to watch from a viewership standpoint. And yeah, I think they were great races.
Yeah, good racing this weekend in Michigan. I was there for it and had an absolute blast. One note of couple things on that one. I want to give a shout out to Michigan track president Rick Brenner. He announced this week that he's going to be resigning after 5 years. Rick, it's been a pleasure knowing you, man. Good luck to you. I know you got some other interests in New Hampshire, of course, with the minor league baseball team that you own. So best of luck, and come by and see us. Of course, you'll be around in September until then. So best of luck to you, and look forward to seeing you down the road at a race. So don't be a stranger, man. It's been an interesting week of trying to find what else is next for Daytona. A couple notes. Landon Castle is going to be in the race for the Gaunt brothers. Kaz Grala is back. 40 cars this weekend for the Cup Series as well as the Xfinity Series. Definitely, when you go to Daytona, you never know what you're going to expect. Got a chance to talk to Ricky Stenhouse Jr. this week, and which you'll hear later this week on our feature show. But kind of going into that, who do you guys think is going to be the biggest surprise that you guys are watching out for? I'll let you two give a couple of them. Yeah.
Ooh, I think as far as surprises go, I would really watch out for the Roush Fenway cars. You know, Ford has always been strong in the super speedways. We saw them do well at Talladega with Brad Keselowski, Matt DiBenedetto. I would say that they have a good chance. Ryan Newman, of course, when it seems like whenever he gets in a situation where he really is desiring something, he rises to the occasion. Of course, we all know that he's not going to be back in that 6 car. So I think that Roush Fenway could be a possible player. Guys like Bubba Wallace, Matt DiBenedetto, it's going to be interesting to see how they do coming up here this Saturday.
Go ahead, Mitchell.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with Jonathan. I think it's going to be really interesting to see from manufacturers. They've been working together. That's not been any secret at these races. Are they going to be trying to get one of their dogs into this playoff fight? I mean, You got Bubba Wallace, who's on the outside for Toyota, who he looked very good at Daytona earlier this season. He could be a threat to win this race. You got Matt Benedetto, who it feels like he's got to win one of these restricted or super speedway races here shortly because he's been either out front or near the front towards the end of these races. And he's on the outside looking in. You got guys like Ricky Stenhouse and Ryan Preece who are always factors. I think it's going to be, is somebody outside the top 16 going to come up and spoil the party? And then you got to think about poor Tyler Reddick, who's just got to sit there and hope that one of the other 15 guys goes out and wins. And that's going to be a story within itself. And he's got to avoid having problems like he did in Michigan, because Austin Dillon, he finished in the top 5 at the Daytona 500. He could go up and just sneak his way in via points. There's a lot to watch, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Definitely, for sure. I'm surprised you two did not mention Bubba Wallace. So, yeah.
I think it kind of threw it in a little bit. I'll talk a little bit more about him later. We'll see.
Okay. All right. Good enough there. And we also got the playoffs that start, in the next few weeks. We go into that. This is not the picks, but give me someone. What I know you guys gave a couple of names to watch here, but give me one surprise that you're going to look out for.
In the playoffs?
Yeah, why not?
I'm really intrigued by guys like Ryan Blaney and Joey Logano. I think Penske's starting to find something, and it's the perfect time to find something. They've been kind of quiet this year, but those two, even Brad, I mean, it's easy to write off Brad because it's his last season with Penske, but he might be even more motivated to go out and win. Those three guys, I don't think you can really ever overlook too much, but they're not guys that you're going to be mentioning right now. And it's going to be very interesting to see if they or anybody else can really come in and stop the Kyle Larson party that's really been going on in the Cup Series this season.
What you think there down there, Jonathan?
I think Eric Almirola. For as much as SHR has struggled this season, Eric Almirola has done very well on the 750 horsepower racetracks, whether it be Richmond, whether it be New Hampshire where he won. Eric Almirola has had good performance, and just looking at the way the playoffs are laid out, there's a couple 750 horsepower tracks in the first round with Bristol and Darlington. You get to the second round, you have a super speedway where Eric Almirola is always good. And then you get to the third round where you have Martinsville, where, Eric Almirola, with the performance he's had, could possibly pull off something. There is a roadmap for Almirola to possibly even get to the championship 4, even with the season he's had. And then when he's at the championship 4, it's another 750 horsepower track. So I would even wager to say that Eric Almirola, and obviously this is a very overused term, if everything falls right, he could be an underdog for this championship.
Yeah, of course. I'm going to keep my eye on Kevin Harvick, because why not? Yes, we know the 4 team has not done well. Yes, we know the struggles that Stuart Haas has had. But when it's playoff time, that 4 team is going to be ready to go once it gets to the playoffs. And I think Stuart Haas is going to be heating up at the right time. We also have the Xfinity Series this weekend as well. There's a lot of cars to watch out for there, and there's going to be some tough guys in the field that know how to go out and get it done. And a lot of guys are going to be on trying to get in. If you're someone like Michael Annett or Riley Herbst trying to get that playoff spot, the battle for that last one, definitely going to be something to watch here. Michael Annett, of course, is set to return. We think he's going to run. Who knows what's going to happen? But how do you see kind of the Xfinity race kind of shaping out? Because who are some names to watch out for there? And I got one. It might be his first start. Keep your eye on Sam Mayer. He needs some good luck. He might get some this weekend.
Yeah, I think that you have to be looking out for those JRM cars, whether it be Sam Mayer, whether it be Allgaier, Gregson, but especially Michael Annett. I think that with him missing the last couple weeks with the leg injury, I think JRM is really going to be focused on what can we do to help out Michael to guarantee a spot to get back in a good position. And I think we might see something out of him come Friday night. So I would watch out for Michael Annett.
Well, remember the last time the JRM cars worked together at Daytona, they all ended up getting into a wreck. So they better be careful of that. Who are you keeping your eye on, Mitchell?
I'm gonna keep an eye on those Fords. You got Chase Briscoe back in the field this weekend. You got Austin Cindric, who won at Daytona, and then you got Riley Herbst, he's in the inside now, but one win by Michael Annett, and it changes everything. One win by anybody outside. So I think Riley Herbst, he needs a really good weekend, and I think he might just have one this weekend.
That 98 team is really starting to step up its performance the last few weeks. So kind of be careful of that 98 to make some noise. I'm not sure if he's going to get in the playoffs, but he's going to be a factor once we get to Daytona next week. And speaking of that, let's get to some picks. And I've decided to initiate another rule. We're going to pick ARCA again. ARCA's going back to, well, since you joined the show, Mitchell, when me and Jonathan did it, we didn't really do that. But now that you're on there, we decided to make it fun. Guys, I have a golden rule, and you know this. Never, and I mean never, pick against Ty Gibbs. That's what I'm going to do. I broke my rule last week. The dirt is the great equalizer, but I'm going to go back to the golden rule this weekend. Pretty good field for ARCA, by the way. We got some good cars. Sam Mayer's going to be there too, in his home state of Wisconsin. But I'm going to take Ty Gibbs. What do you two think?
I'll take Corey Heim. I'll take the other one of the championship leaders. It seems like now it's just either Heim or Gibbs. You took Gibbs. I'll take Heim this week.
Yeah. Speaking of that, it's only a 1 point difference between those two guys. It's an exciting championship to watch for sure. What do you think down there, Jonathan?
Well, you guys kind of caught me in the middle of this, so but my pick initially was Corey Heim. He's been so good on some of the short tracks. Of course, Milwaukee Mile is more of a speedway, but I think Corey Heim will get the victory.
Keep an eye on Daniel Dye as well. I mean, of course, he won at Berlin this year. You got Nick Sanchez. Thad Moffitt is back. Picked up some sponsorship today from Dirties. It's only going to be for this weekend. I know he's still looking out for those two races. Taylor Gray is going to be another one to watch as well. So Raja Karuth will be in there as well. So it's going to be a jam-packed field. Sammy Smith also will be in the field. Mason Diaz, Connor Mozak. So pretty good field, 24 cars. So it should be a good one on Sunday as NASCAR returns to the NASCAR Sanctioned Series returns to the Milwaukee Mile. ARCA returning there for the first time since 2007. All right, time to get going. Time for the Xfinity Series picks. Oh boy. I don't know who I'm gonna take. I've shared. I think I'm kind of going back and forth here, but I'm gonna go with the guy that asked me for a selfie last week on the trip in Michigan. I'll take Noah Gragson. All right,
I will take.
Go ahead, Mitchell.
I'm going to go with the guy who hasn't won this year. He really needs to win. He needs to win to lock himself into the playoffs. I'm going to take Riley Herbst this weekend.
Ooh, hello.
Ooh.
All right,
he
John.
can stay out of trouble. I think he's got it this week.
All right, who you got down there, Fiel?
Well, no pun intended, but that's not a terrible pick. I'm going to go I'm going to go with someone kind of pretty usual. He's been on a roll lately. I'm going to go with AJ Allmendinger. I think he's going to get the win.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. AJ Allmendinger has entered himself into this championship battle with his win at Michigan. Oh my goodness. I was right next to that pit box for Colleague. It was right in as you pull into in the middle of pit road, and Matt Colleague and Chris Rice. My goodness, those two have built quite a race team in the last few years. So yeah, watch out for those Colleague cars because they're going to be strong as well, along with the JRM. But you never know. All right, here's the big one. Time for the Cup Series picks. And I've been going back and forth a little bit with my pick here, but I'm I'm going to do it. I'll take Ricky Stenhouse Jr. He's going to get it done. JTG is going to victory lane at Daytona.
Casey, I've also been going back and forth, and for the longest period of time, I thought Bubba Wallace is going to win this race, but I am not going to go with Bubba Wallace this weekend. I have seen a guy that has been really starting to bring it on the last couple of weeks. I know it doesn't really matter when it comes to Daytona. He showed some aggressiveness, which I really think is important for him. And he's outside that top 16. I think he'll be inside that top 16 by the end of the night. Give me Matt DiBenedetto for his first win at Daytona.
Would be the Wood Brothers' 100th win, and what a place to do it at. All right. I think I know who Fiel's taking.
Well, one thing I want to know, I just thought of it when we were talking about you possibly picking Ricky Stenhouse Jr. I was in Smith's, which is owned by Kroger, so that's kind of funny that happened. But
yeah,
funny timing. My pick though is Bubba Wallace. I think just having 4 really strong manufacturer teammates. You know, you have Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Busch, Christopher Bell, and heck, even throw in Landon Castle there too. He'll be on track. Yep. I think Bubba Wallace is gonna get it done. He's had good performance on the super speedways. He's gonna be wanting the victory, and I think he'll pull it off on Saturday night.
Well, that will be fun for sure to see if Bubba can do it. That will be a victory lane celebration to remember. So, well, for any of for Matty D as well. So. I picked a Chevy, you took a Ford, and you took a Toyota. So all the manufacturers are well represented. So that's definitely going to be a fun one for sure on that one. All right. Well, it's definitely going to be fun because next week when we talk to you, we're going to start off the Cup Series playoffs at Darlington. So for Labor Day weekend, the Southern 500. Remember, we had the throwback weekend back in May, so it's definitely going to be fun there. Cup, Xfinity, and trucks are all going to be there. Of course, the trucks in their second race in the playoffs right there. So, yeah. All right. We will talk to you next week.